Keep rolling, she whispers to the cameraman like it's a punchline. Like the wine didn't just soak through my blouse, through my skin, through 40 years of being the quiet one. The laughter isn't loud. That's what makes it worse. A few chuckles, a few oh no's. One woman covers her mouth like she doesn't know if she should laugh or gasp. Someone says, "Is this part of the video?" And that's when I realize they think I'm in on the joke. My hands freeze around the fabric. I don't even look down. I already feel it, the sticky heat blooming across my lap. The red soaking into the ivory blouse I ironed this morning. The one I wore because I thought today mattered. Tessa laughs like she's auditioning for a sitcom. Guess that's what happens when the wine's older than the guest of honor. The cameraman keeps filming. And Jacob, my son, doesn't move. He just adjusts his cufflink and looks away like this is all normal. Like his mother being humiliated at her own birthday dinner is just another Tuesday. I blink. Then I smile. Because that's what mothers do. We smile when our dignity burns. Flashbulb noise. "This lighting's gorgeous," someone says. I'm still seated at the head of the table. I don't remember sitting there. Maybe Tessa told me to. Maybe she said it would be better for framing. Maybe I was too polite to say no. There's a ring light reflecting in every wine glass. The plates are matte black and gold-trimmed rentals, probably. Everything in this room feels rented. The warmth, the words, the sun. "I'm so sorry," Tessa says, wiping the table with a napkin, careful not to touch me. It just slipped. The napkin grazes the tablecloth, but not me. She doesn't offer me one. I stand slowly, excusing myself with a voice I barely recognize. "Excuse me. Just excuse me." The camera shifts focus to Jacob as I walk past. In the hallway mirror, I stare at the woman I've become. Wrinkled blouse, red stain like a badge of shame, lipstick slightly smudged, eyes watery, but not from crying, not yet. I touch my earrings. Pearls. A gift from Jacob when he got his first job out of college. He said, "So you don't forget how beautiful you are. I want to rip them off." "Is she okay?" Someone whispers behind the door. God, she's dramatic. Honestly, she should be grateful. Tessa's giving her screen time. Grateful. I paid for the dinner, paid for the catering, paid for the backyard to be re-sodded because a patchy lawn doesn't photograph well. They don't know that. Tessa made sure no one knew. She invited her followers, her community. She gave them hashtags and seating cards. Me. She gave me a corner to shrink into and a glass of wine to wear. Back at the table, the atmosphere has shifted just slightly. Jacob smiles too wide. Tessa is quieter now, but still on. The camera's angle is changed. It now faces her more directly. I wonder if they'll edit out the wine spill, or zoom in, or slow it down with music for effect. I sit down. My seat is still damp. No one mentions it. Tessa says, "Let's cut the cake." The one she bought last minute after forgetting I said I'd bring homemade. They sing. I blow out the candles. I make no wish. Later, when I excuse myself again, I glance at the camera on the tripod. Its red light blinks slowly, alive, blinking, breathing. It's been recording the whole time, and it will keep recording. Because Tessa didn't just pour wine tonight. She poured a story, and I was cast as the clown. The next morning, my blouse is still wet. I rinsed it in the sink last night before bed, but the stain had already set red, spreading like a bruise across ivory cotton. The fabric's gone stiff now, air-dried into a shape that reminds me of how I sat there, shoulders squared, spine straight, pretending not to feel the heat of shame crawling up my chest. I lay it flat across my ironing board, but I don't touch the iron. Let it wrinkle. Let it look exactly like what it's become, evidence. Jacob calls at 9:02 a.m. Not because he's concerned, not because he wants to apologize. He wants to explain. "You know she didn't mean it like that, right?" He says, his voice groggy but cautious, like he knows a landmine's already ticking under the surface. "She poured wine on me in front of 20 people," I say flatly. "She said it was an accident." She was mortified. Was she mortified when she told the cameraman to keep rolling? There's a long pause. Then quietly, "You heard that I don't answer." I want him to feel that silence. I want it to choke him the way it choked me. I raised a boy who cried when his kindergarten teacher called another kid dumb. I raised a boy who made me breakfast in bed every Mother's Day until he left for college. Where did he go? What kind of woman turns him into this? No, what kind of man lets her? Mom. He sighs. This whole thing's been hard on her, too. Okay. People online are brutal. She's trying to build something for herself. You know how the internet is. I do now, I say, folding the blouse with surgical precision. I know exactly what the internet is. Another pause. I hear him swallow. We'll take the video down. I don't thank him, because that's not what I want. I don't want it down. I want him to admit that it shouldn't have gone up in the first place. Later, I open Instagram. Tessa's page is still live. A grid of gloss, perfect lighting mom-in-law moments matching aprons, charcuterie boards she didn't make. There it is, last night's video. Spilled wine, spilled tea. Real dinner. Chaos clipped at 15 seconds. The thumbnail me, mid-recoil. Blouse stained, mouth half open, caught between breath and collapse. Over 86,000 views. Comments like, OMG, poor MIL, LOL. Tessa's so savage. This is why I don't do in-laws. One person writes, that poor woman doesn't even know she's the punchline. I shut the phone. The screen lingers in my mind longer than it should. Not the comments. Not even my own face. Her face. Tessa smiling, wide wine glass in hand. Framed perfectly. Framed like she was waiting for it. That's when I see the truth. I wasn't in a family dinner last night. I was in a set. I wasn't a mother, I was a character. And the role I played, the bitter, out-of-touch mother-in-law. Too old, too sensitive, too easy to mock. She cast me the moment I walked through the door. The dinner wasn't for connection, it was for content. I close my laptop. I don't open it again for the rest of the day. That evening, I go through old photo albums, real ones with film prints and handwritten dates. Jacob embraces with a papier-mâché volcano. Jacob asleep on my chest in the hospital after his fever broke. Jacob holding a handmade card that says, "You're my favorite person even when you're mad." Back then I was always in the frame, centered, smiling hole. Now I'm in her frame, blurred, laughable, reduced to 15 seconds. I don't sleep well that night, and when I wake, I don't check my phone. I check myself, because something is shifting, and whatever it is, it won't be edited out. I feel it before I see it. A shift in the room, a tightening of breath, a pause that's too synchronized to be accidental. It happens just as the camera begins to pan across the table. I catch it out of the corner of my eye, the cameraman's hand tightening on the rig, the lens adjusting. Tessa reaches for the bottle of red with practiced ease, her hand steady, her smile locked in. "Let's toast to family," she chirps, voice bright, sharp as glass. I raise my glass halfway, but she doesn't wait for it. She lifts the bottle high and pours. Too high, too fast. The wine doesn't glide, it crashes. A red arc slashes through the air like blood from a cut that's been waiting to open. It slaps against my chest, then explodes downward across my blouse, my lap, the linen chair, the floor. A slow gasp breaks around the table, as if they're all watching something intimate they weren't meant to see. I don't react. I don't move. I don't even blink, because I know if I do, if I let a single flicker escape, I'll fall apart in front of them. Tessa freezes for half a breath, then like an actress hitting her mark, gasps and covers her mouth. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm such a klutz." But there's no real panic in her voice. There's no shame in her eyes. She dabs at the table with a napkin, not at me, not my lap, not the fabric soaking through to my skin. She doesn't reach for me. No one does. And then she says it quietly, just under the level of the mic, to the cameraman. "Keep rolling. Like this moment is hers. Like I'm just a set piece in her scene." I glance toward Jacob. His face is blank, embarrassed maybe, uncomfortable definitely, but not angry, not protective. He leans toward her, murmurs something I can't hear. Tessa laughs and waves him off. They've already moved on. I excuse myself with a whisper. Not because I'm dramatic. Not because I want attention. Because I need to breathe. Because I feel the heat rising up my neck, pressing behind my eyes, swelling in my throat like a scream I can't afford to release. I walk away from the table. Behind me, I hear cutlery resume. A few giggles. Someone murmurs, "She took it well." In the guest bathroom, I lock the door and turn on the faucet. I stare at the wine stain blooming across my front like a wound. It spreads from just beneath my collar to my waistline, unmissable, irreversible. I dab it gently with a tissue. The stain laughs. It spreads wider. The mirror above the sink is too honest. It shows me my blouse ruined, my makeup cracking, my composure hanging on by a thread. I think of all the things I didn't say at that table, how I didn't mention the mortgage I helped them cover last year, how I kept my mouth shut when Tessa served takeout on porcelain and called it homemade, how I clapped along when Jacob announced her sponsorship with that brand, the same one that sells image over intimacy. And now I'm here, a prop in their video, a blooper reel in a blouse I bought with my pension check. I rinse my hands. They smell like wine and soap and shame. Then I whisper not to myself, but to something older, something inside me that's been quiet too long. Never again. When I return to the table, no one looks up. Tessa is opening presents now, even though none of them have her name on them. Jacob says, "There you are, like I just wandered off." No one asks if I'm okay. The camera keeps rolling. I sit back down in silence. I pick up my fork with a hand that doesn't shake. And I wait. Because they think this is over. But I know now it's only just begun. I wait until the cake is cut. Not because I want any, because leaving before then would be rude. Even now, even after the spill, after the whisper. Keep rolling, some ancient part of me is still trying to be polite, still afraid that if I stand up and walk out, I'll prove them right. That I'm the problem, that I am bitter, difficult, overly sensitive. So I sit there and watch as Tessa slices the cake I ordered. She didn't bake it. I had it delivered yesterday, chocolate ganache, gold leaf edges, custom lettering, "Happy Birthday, Evelyn." She cuts directly through the name without looking. I stare at the pieces on each plate. I'm the only one who doesn't get served, and no one notices. 10 minutes later, I slip my napkin onto the table and push my chair back slowly. Tessa is busy posing with the guests for photos. She's angled just right so her shoulder catches the soft glow from the ring light. Someone calls her effortlessly gorgeous. She giggles and says, "It's just lighting and lashes." Jacob's laughing along, drink in hand. A prop in her frame, same as me but smiling. I step toward the hallway, toward the door, toward oxygen. No one stops me. Not even him. In the powder room, I bolt the door and finally let the breath go. My reflection looks worse now. Wine-stained turned rust-colored face pale and stretched too thin over anger. I lean over the sink. Cold water. Wrists. Temples. A trick I learned from nursing school to stop tears before they start. It mostly works. But the heat remains simmering just under the skin behind the eyes inside the chest. The kind of heat that doesn't need flames to burn. Then I hear it. Voices through the thin wall. The hallway. 2 women. I don't recognize them. Tessa's friends, maybe. Honestly, I don't get why she even invited her. She's like awkward. Did you see how she just sat there? And that blouse, my grandma has one just like it. They laugh. One of them snorts. She looks like she came from a church potluck. Oh my God, stop. That's so mean. I'm serious. Tessa's brand is luxury homemaking her. ML screams Walmart. I grip the edge of the sink so hard my fingers ache. I don't breathe. I don't move. Because if I do, I'll walk out and ruin it all. And I won't give them that. Not yet. They move on. Their voices fade. I count to 30. Then I count again. When I step out of the bathroom, the hallway is empty. The guests have moved toward the back patio. I can see fairy lights strung across the yard, glowing like false stars. I could leave now. No one would notice. But instead I walk toward the front door. I take my time. I pass the entryway table photos of Jacob and Tessa arranged like a shrine. Their wedding. Their brand shoot. Their family. Not one photo of me. I gave them 1,000 childhood pictures, Jacob with his missing teeth. Jacob on his bike. Jacob at his high school graduation. None of them are here, just her face, her angles, her filtered smile. This isn't a home. It's a showroom. And I'm not a mother here. I'm an antique. At the door, I place my hand on the handle, pause, then quietly, I pull off my pearl earrings and slip them into my coat pocket. I wore them because they reminded me of the boy who gave them to me, but he's not in that house anymore. He's been edited out, just like I have. I don't sleep much that night. Every time I close my eyes, I see red. Not wine. The light on the camera, that tiny blinking dot, watching, recording, judging. I wake early. The house is silent. I make coffee I don't drink. My phone buzzes once an Instagram tag. I ignore it. Another buzz. A text from Helen next door, Evelyn. Is this you? She sent a link. YouTube. I tap it. The thumbnail loads slowly on my old phone. At first, just a blurry still me mid-reaction. My blouse already soaked, mouth half open in stunned silence. Tessa's face next to mine, laughing, head thrown back like she's at a comedy show. The video is titled Wine Mom Moment Gone Wrong, #Dinner with Tessa. The screen pulses. Loading. Play. 15 seconds. That's all it takes to reduce me. Tessa toasts. The camera zooms in on the wine. Slow motion. The music is bouncy like a prank video. The wine spills. My gasp is edited to sound exaggerated. Tessa's whisper, "Keep rolling," is left in. Intentional. Featured. The video cuts just as I rise from the table. A freeze frame on my stained blouse. Text overlays. Yikes, MIL took it personally. Should we invite her back? The screen flashes red hearts and laughing emojis. The comments roll in. Oof, she looks mad. Can't take a joke. Poor Tessa. Lol, the way she stormed off wine. Acting up again. Elmo. One comment just says, "This is why I keep my MIL off camera." I stare at the screen. I watch it again and again, like I'm looking for something I missed. A sign, a signal, some small hint that this was all a mistake. But it's not. This was scripted, published, packaged, branded. By noon, it has 237,000 views. I sit in the kitchen, phone in hand, pie still untouched on the counter from yesterday. I can't move. I can't cry. I just keep hearing it. Keep rolling. By 3 p.m., the video is reposted on TikTok. Tessa's followers duet it, add sound effects, stitch in fake reactions. One girl adds a voiceover. MIL thought it was dinner, but it was content, babe. Thousands of likes. My inbox pings. A coworker from the clinic I used to work at messages, "Are you okay? I saw something." Weird. No one asks what really happened. They just forward links. I check Tessa's account. She's pinned the video. Caption. Sometimes it's a little too real around here. Family dinner chaos. #sponsored. #winefail sponsored. Of course, she got paid to pour that wine. That night, I sit in the dark with the TV off. No lights, no sound. Just me and the glow of the phone screen. I watch the video one last time. Not because I want to. Because I have to understand what they see when they look at me. And what I see isn't a woman. Isn't a mother. Isn't a guest. It's a meme. It's a moment. It's a middle-aged cliché in pearls and a wine-stained blouse, 15 seconds long, framed, edited, forgettable, unless I do something. It takes me 2 days to make the call, not because I'm afraid, because I still, God help me, believe he might call first, that maybe Jacob will remember who I was before all this. Before the cameras, before the ring lights, before he started using words like brand alignment and monetizable moments in place of memories. But he doesn't call, so I do. He picks up on the third ring. I can hear traffic in the background. He's walking somewhere. "Hey, Mom," he says casually, like nothing's happened. "You good?" "Good." I pause. Then slowly. "Did you see the video?" There's a pause. His breath catches. "Yeah. That's it. No apology, no explanation. Just, yeah, like I asked if he remembered to take the trash out." I let the silence stretch. I want to see how long it takes for him to fill it. It doesn't take long. "Look, it was supposed to be funny," he says. Like a light-hearted moment. Tessa edited it to be playful. "Do I look playful to you?" I say, my voice steady cold. "It was an accident, Mom. The wine thing. She was nervous trying to keep the energy up." I almost laugh. She told the cameraman to keep rolling Jacob. "She didn't mean she poured it on me, on purpose, and you let her." His voice rises just a hair defensive. "She didn't pour it, she spilled it. Don't lie to me." Now it's my voice that cracks. Just once, just enough to expose the edge. There's a long pause, then a sigh. I think maybe you're taking this a little too seriously. There it is, that sentence. The death knell of every woman's dignity. You're taking it too seriously. Do you know what they're saying online, I ask? He exhales. It's the internet. People comment on everything. They're laughing at me. No, they're laughing at the situation. They think I'm a joke, Jacob. Your followers, your friends, the people who watch your wife sell candles and meal kits. They think I'm the bitter old woman who can't take a joke. His silence is a confirmation. I could beg, I could cry, but I won't. What if someone posted a video of your daughter like that one day, I ask? That gets him. For a moment I hear hesitation. His voice softens. That's different, she's a kid. So was I once, I say. Another long silence. He tries to reset. Look, we'll take the video down. That's not what I want. Then what do you want, Mom? He says it not with curiosity, but with frustration. Like I'm making things harder than they need to be. Like I'm damaging the brand. What do I want? I echo. Then I smile, though he can't see it. I want you to understand what you allowed. I didn't mean... You didn't stop her. He says nothing. So I give him one final gift, my silence. I hang up. I place the phone face down and sit with the absence. The quiet is heavier than the conversation, but it's cleaner too. It tells me what I need to know. My son isn't lost. He was edited, filtered, clipped down into something that fits neatly into her algorithm. But I am not a draft they can delete. It starts with a folder. I name it Tessa Public, not out of pettiness. Out of preservation. Because if they're going to turn me into a narrative, then I'll collect their stories too. I start with her YouTube channel, 87 videos. Most thumbnails are pastel-toned big smiles, coffee mugs, hands clasped in fake laughter. The kind of branding that says authentic while being anything but. I sort them chronologically. I click on the earliest uploads. Back then, she was awkward. Flat lighting, makeup too harsh, laugh too loud. Jacob didn't appear much, just his voice, off-screen reluctant and unsure. She grew over time, not in grace, in editing, in performance. Her timing sharpened, her voice softened. She learned which camera angles made her look smaller, sweeter, easier to root for. But what she never grew into was kindness. The comments from old videos say it all. Why do you talk to your MEL like that? Jacob seems uncomfortable. The way she rolls her eyes when his mom enters. But those comments are buried now, drowned under brand deals and boosted content. Still, I take screenshots. I record clips. Every eye roll, every passive-aggressive jab, every moment where the camera catches her mask slipping just a little too soon. I gather them like receipts. Because I'm not angry anymore. I'm documenting. Next, I search her TikTok. There it is. Wine Mom moment gone wrong. Still live. It's been reposted by 10 different accounts. Some cropped, some meme-ified, some stitched with commentary mocking me. One woman says, "Why do MLs always make it about themselves?" Another, "It's giving main character of her trauma energy." They don't know me, but that doesn't stop them from deciding who I am. I create another folder, MIL Edits. Inside, I save all the versions of the wine video, every title, every hashtag, every comment that crosses the line. I don't respond. I don't defend myself. I watch. Because soon watching will be enough. On day 3, I go back to the footage from the dinner party. The one shot on Tessa's own camera uploaded to her vlog. I didn't realize until now, at minute 7:32, the camera pans away during the toast, but her phone on the tripod never stops recording. And in that full-angle shot, you can see her wrist turn. You can see her aim. You can see the moment before it happens, not clumsy, not chaotic, calculated, a controlled pour meant to spill. The hand is too confident, the smile is too still, and when the glass is half empty, she looks at the lens, then whispers, "Keep rolling." I pause the video, screenshot, frame by frame. I save the clip twice, one version clean, one enhanced for clarity. I don't know yet what I'll do with this. Not exactly, but I know what I won't do anymore. I won't be quiet. I won't protect people who use cruelty for clicks. and I won't stay out of frame. By nightfall, the folders are full. Tessa Public, MIL edits, unedited dinner footage. I add one more for Jacob. Empty for now, but I'll fill it when the time is right. I don't text, I don't call, I simply show up. Saturday, 11:15 a.m. The time between brunch and brand meetings where Tessa is least likely to be filming, but still too tired to put on her full mask. I ring the bell and wait. She opens the door in a robe that probably costs more than my car. Silk, cream-colored, monogrammed. Her smile falters for a single frame before she pastes it back on. Evelyn, she says, like it's a line from a script she hasn't rehearsed. Good morning, Tessa. I'm holding a paper bag, one of those bakery-style ones with a twist of ribbon. She peers at it suspiciously. I brought scones, I say. I thought we might talk. She hesitates just a beat too long, then steps aside. The house smells like citrus cleaner and anxiety. The camera isn't set up. No softboxes today. Just raw daylight and tension bleeding through the white curtains. She leads me to the kitchen island. I place the bag down and don't touch it again. I assume you've seen the video, she says, reaching for a mug but not pouring coffee. I've seen all the videos, I reply. She doesn't look surprised. I didn't mean to humiliate you, she says quickly. It just happened so fast. You looked at the camera before it happened. She stiffens. I've watched the footage, I continue. The uncut version. The tripod caught it. Her fingers curl slightly around the mug handle. I press in softly. You turned your wrist just enough to spill. You made sure I was centered in the frame. And then you whispered, keep rolling. Silence. Just the hum of the refrigerator and her shallow breathing. You could ruin us, she says finally. There it is. No more pretending. Not, I'm sorry. Not, I didn't mean it. Just, you could ruin us. I smile slow and calm. Why would I ruin you? Her voice is thin now. Because you hate me. I don't hate you, Tessa. She tilts her head. I pity you. That hits. Her face flickers something raw beneath the contour. You think you're better than me? She snaps. No, I say. I think you're scared. Of you? Of the truth. I lean forward just slightly. You don't fear losing followers. You fear losing control of the narrative. She says nothing, so I let her sit in it. The silence stretches. She finally asks quieter. Now what do you want? The right question. I lean back deliberate. I want you to know that I'm not passive anymore, that you can't stage manage me into a villain, that from this point forward I control my own story. Her mouth opens, then closes again. She nods once, but it's brittle. You're not going to post anything, she asks. Not yet. I let those words hang. Not a threat, not a promise, just pressure. I stand. You should eat a scone, I say, stepping past her toward the door. She doesn't follow me, and as I walk out, I don't feel triumphant. I feel precise, because now I know what scares her. Not exposure, irrelevance. I dust off the old Sony Handycam from the linen closet. It still works. No filters, no auto beauty, no ring light smoothing out the truth. Just a worn lens, shaky autofocus, and a blinking red light. The irony isn't lost on me that after everything I'm filming myself. But this time, no one's directing me. No one's editing. No one's whispering, keep rolling. I sit at the dining table. No makeup. Hair pinned loosely back. A clean blouse, not ivory, not stained. Just blue cotton soft from too many washes. The kind mothers wear on grocery runs and doctor appointments and nights they forget to take off before bed. I press record. Then I just sit there for a moment, breathing, letting the silence settle. I don't script a word. My name is Evelyn Hart. My son is Jacob. He's 33. He married a woman named Tessa who documents her life for a living. Pause. In one of her recent videos, I became content. The words feel odd at first, like I'm narrating someone else's story. But they get easier as I keep speaking. I've always been private. Not because I had something to hide, but because I believed dignity was something quiet people earned. I see now that quiet doesn't protect you. Silence gets twisted. I glance directly into the lens. I want to speak now, not to accuse, not to retaliate, but because legacy doesn't have to be viral to be real. I tell the truth. Not everything. Just what matters. I describe the dinner, the wine, the whisper, the laughter that wasn't mine. I describe the moment I realized the people closest to me were watching my hurt and calling it entertainment. But I don't name them, because this isn't about them anymore. It's about me. I've spent most of my life trying not to make anyone uncomfortable, I say. But discomfort is a useful teacher. Here's what I've learned. I am not disposable. I am not a background character. I will not be softened, cropped, or spun, and I do not exist in 15-second clips. The blinking red light reflects in my teacup as I speak. I let silence live between the sentences. I let my eyes water once, but I don't look away, because this story isn't polished. It's honest, and honest things tremble sometimes. I end with this. If you're a mother watching this, if you've ever sat in a room and realized you weren't being seen, this is for you. If you've been called too much or too cold or too emotional for noticing cruelty, this is for you. If you've been edited out of your own family's memories, this is for you. I see you. I am you. I won't be quiet anymore. I press stop. The room is still. And for the first time in weeks, I don't feel shaky. I don't feel erased. I feel full, like breath returning after years of holding it. I don't upload it. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But it exists now. On my terms. In my voice. That matters. I don't plan to upload it. I film it for myself, for closure, for clarity. But 2 nights later, as I sit watching Tessa's latest video POV, you survive dinner with a Mill who hates you. Something inside me hardens. She's reenacting the wine scene now. Yes, reenacting. A staged version of my humiliation, this time with props, this time with lines. This time she plays me. Wig, blouse, fake pearls, a joke. The comments roll in. This is gold. I want more Mill skits. OMG, the impression is spot on. Who raised that woman for Mill needs therapy, not wine, LMAO. I don't cry. I click. I open the folder, legacyfinal.move. My finger hovers, then clicks upload. I post it at midnight. No hashtags, no music, no filters, no call to action. Just truth. Just me. I close the laptop and go to bed. I sleep. When I wake, it's everywhere. Someone reposted it to Twitter. Someone else clipped a line, I will not be softened, cropped, or spun. By noon, it's trending on TikTok under hashtag #RealMill, @unfiltered, mother number 15 seconds of truth. The comments are different here. Not cruel, not edited. They say she's not even mad. She's mourning. This hit harder than any apology video I've ever seen. This is what dignity looks like. Take notes. Someone writes, she made 15 seconds irrelevant in 5 minutes flat. Tessa's response comes fast. A new upload titled Setting the Record Straight, my Emiel's video. She's crying in the thumbnail. Mascara tracks, soft piano, aesthetic regret. She talks for 12 minutes, says she never meant to hurt me, that we've had a complex relationship from the start, that she felt unsafe, that the internet is twisting everything. She calls me Evelyn 10 times, never mom, never family. It backfires. The comments turn. You made merch off her humiliation. This apology is giving PR crisis, not remorse. Evelyn didn't even name you, and here you are. Screenshots of my videos start appearing on news blogs, then op-eds, then podcasts. A segment called The MIL Moment, Why Older Women Are Done Being Edited Out, runs on morning TV. I get emails from strangers, from women. One says, your video made me call my daughter. Another, I've been silent in my own home for 20 years. Thank you for handing me back my voice. I read every one. Not for validation, for solidarity. Because for the first time, I'm not alone in the frame. That night I get a text from Jacob. Just 4 words. We need to talk. No, you need to listen. But I don't write that. I don't write anything. Some silences aren't voids. They're boundaries. Tessa goes quiet online for 3 days. Then quietly deletes the wine video. Then the reenactment. Then 5 older vlogs where I appear in the background. She's scrubbing. But the internet remembers. Clips still circulate, side-by-sides, comparisons, breakdowns of my facial expression in the moment the wine hit. A viral sound bites the line. Silence gets twisted. They overlay it on other women's faces. Teachers, nurses, grandmothers, immigrant moms, estranged daughters. My voice carried forward. It's not revenge, it's rebalancing. This was never about clicks. It was about context. 2 weeks later, a producer emails me, wants to interview me. I decline, not because I'm afraid, but because I've already said what I needed to say. The world listened, the world heard, and more importantly, he did. I get another text from Jacob. I watched your video, all of it. I don't even know where to start. Still no apology. But I can feel the shift in the ellipsis. It's not defensiveness, it's something closer to grief. He's beginning to see what he gave up. And I won't make it easy for him to earn it back. But I will leave the door ajar. Not for his sake, for mine. Because forgiveness when earned is power too. He doesn't knock. He just stands there at the edge of the porch, hands deep in the pockets of his coat, like a boy waiting to be told whether he's still welcome. I don't rise to greet him. I stay in the rocking chair, mug in hand blanket, across my knees, like I've been sitting in this pose for years. Maybe I have. Maybe I've just been waiting for the day my son would stop showing up as a profile picture and start showing up as a person. He clears his throat once, twice. Then finally, "Hey, Mom." I nod. No smile, just acknowledgement. That's all I have for him right now. He sits on the steps instead of beside me. That's smart. He knows not to assume closeness anymore. Not after what he watched happen in silence. Not after what he let become content. "I watched your video," he says softly. I wait. Because watching it is the bare minimum. He doesn't flinch. "I've watched it 3 times. That's better. Still not enough." The wind shifts. Leaves scatter across the lawn. The sun is gentle today, filtered through clouds low in the sky. He looks out toward the trees when he says it. I should have said something at the dinner. I should have stopped her. Silence. Then just above a whisper, "I'm sorry." The words land awkwardly, like he's wearing them for the first time and isn't sure if they fit. I let them sit. Not because I don't need to hear them, because I do. But they're just a key. They don't open anything by themselves. I sip from my mug and say, "I raised you to speak up when someone's being humiliated." He nods. "You did. But you didn't." I know. He swallows hard. His voice shakes. I kept thinking. If I called it out, the whole thing would fall apart. The brand, the campaign, the image. He trails off. Then finally says it. "I put her before you." I set my mug down. That hurt. More than the wine, more than the internet, more than the silence. Because this is the truth I already knew but hadn't heard out loud. You didn't just put her before me, I say. You put performance before reality. He drops his head. I know. You let me become a villain in her narrative. I know. You edited your mother out. He flinches. And that's when the tears come, not mine. His. He covers his face with one hand, and I hear it in his breathing, the crumbling of a man who finally sees what he dismantled. I don't know how to fix this, he chokes out. Good. That means he's not trying to solve me. He's trying to understand. I reach for the small photo tucked under my blanket. I pass it to him. Jacob at 7 years old, gap-toothed grin, elbow scraped, holding a pine cone like it's treasure. He stares at it like it's a ghost. Where'd you find this? It's always been in the kitchen drawer. He looks at me, red-eyed. You kept it. You think I stopped being your mother just because the camera did. The porch is still now. Even the wind feels like it's waiting. Then I say it slowly. I don't need an internet apology. I don't need you to post a defense. I don't want hashtags or hashtags on sale. I pause. But if you want a place in my life again, Jacob, you're going to have to show up here. Not on her page, not in her comments. Here, where it's messy, where there's no script. He nods. I want that. Good, I say. Then take your time and start over. He wipes his face, the same way he used to as a child, back of the sleeve a little too rough. And for the first time in years I see him. Not the man who sold silence for reach, not the husband who stood in the shot, just Jacob, my son, a boy on the porch trying to come home. He stands. I'll come back next week, he says. I nod, and this time I mean it. As he walks down the path, I rock slowly in the chair. The sun glints off the corner of the photo in his hand. Legacy isn't what you leave online. It's what you leave behind when they finally look up. It begins with a ripple. Someone sends me a screenshot. Tessa's YouTube banner is gone. Just a gray box where pastel pink and calligraphy used to be. No video titles, no thumbnails, no smiling faces, just a blank channel. I don't smile, but I do breathe easier. Because this isn't about punishment anymore. It's about pattern recognition. And the pattern is breaking. Over the next few days, her online presence collapses like a cake left too long in the sun. Instagram wiped. Only 3 posts remain. A childhood photo, a flat lay of tea and books, a blurry sunset with a caption that reads, "Simply offline is a gift." Her website redirects to a 404 error. Her TikTok bio says, "Taking a break to be present." But no one believes her anymore. The comment sections turn quiet. Not hostile, just cold. The kind of silence that's louder than hate. Because when an audience turns away, they take your story with them. And for the first time, she can't control the framing. She can't crop out discomfort. She is the discomfort. Helen from next door sends another screenshot. A Reddit thread this time. Tessa deleting everything. Guilt or strategy? Remember when she reenacted the wine scene wild? Evelyn never even used her name. That's what makes it sting. You can't edit out consequence. I sit with that last line. You can't edit out consequence. That's the sentence I've been waiting for someone else to say. Jacob comes by again the next weekend. He brings hydrangeas and pie. Not from a store, from the little farm stand where I used to take him when he was 10. The flowers are too tightly wrapped. The pie is still warm. His hands shake a little when he offers them. He's still learning how to be here, but he's showing up. That's enough. I ask him once gently, "How is she?" He exhales like I've opened a window too wide. "She's different," he says. Then softer, "I think she's grieving the version of herself she wanted people to believe in." "That's not grief," I say. "That's withdrawal." He nods. He doesn't defend her. He just sits with it. That's growth. On Monday, I get an email from Tessa. No subject line, no greeting, just 5 sentences. "Evelyn, I've deleted the wine video. I've deleted the reenactment. I've stepped away from my partnerships. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't fix anything." Tessa, no signature, no hashtags, no links, just words, not performance, not enough to rebuild trust, but maybe enough to end the bleeding. I don't respond. Not because I'm angry, because nothing I say would help her more than silence. For once, she gets no audience, and no edit. A week later, I take a walk. No headphones, no phone, just air and sound and light. At the park, a woman stops me, late 50s, kind eyes, holding her granddaughter's hand. "Are you—" She begins, then shakes her head. "Never mind. Sorry." But I smile, because I know what she was going to ask, and I know what she saw. Not a victim, not a villain, just a woman who took her voice back. That night, I open my laptop. The video is still there, 2.7 million views, still growing. But I don't check the comments anymore. I don't track the metrics. It's not mine to measure now. It lives beyond me, and so does the lesson. I press play one more time, not to relive, to remember, to make sure I still recognize the woman in the frame. I do, but more importantly, I respect her. It's spring again, warm enough to open the windows soft enough that the wind feels like permission. The house smells like lemon and rosemary, not for show, not for the camera, just because I like it that way. I set the table by hand, not because guests are coming, because I am. I pour 2 glasses of sparkling water, no wine, never again without intention, a small vase of lilacs, a clean tablecloth, cloth napkins that don't match but don't apologize for it. Everything here is imperfect, but nothing is staged. Jacob arrives right on time. He doesn't knock anymore, but he doesn't barge in either. He steps onto the porch like he's asking the house if it still knows him. It does. I do. He brings Nora, this time my granddaughter. 3 years old, curls wild questions, endless. She holds a daisy in one fist and a plastic dinosaur in the other and looks at me like she already knows I'm the one who keeps cookies in a green tin. "Hi, Grandma," she says, and just like that, the ache I didn't realize I was still carrying unhooks from my ribs and drifts away. We eat together. No cameras, no ring lights, no narrators, just spoons scraping ceramic and Nora's voice asking why pickles are bumpy. Jacob clears the plates without being asked. Nora helps me wipe down the table very seriously, like she's preparing for royalty. Maybe she is. After they leave, I sit in the quiet. Not the kind that comes after loss, the kind that follows alignment, the kind that means this is how it should be. I walk down the hallway toward the room that used to be my sewing space. Now it's something else. I open the door and step in. The camera is still there, the old Sony Handycam, resting on the shelf beside a framed photograph, not of me, not of Jacob, of Nora, laughing, covered in flour, reaching out with both arms, unstaged, unedited, real. The video I made, the one that changed everything, still lives on the hard drive. I haven't watched it since that last time. I haven't needed to. It did what it was supposed to, and so did I. I pull the old camera down, not to film, to store it. I wrap the cord, wipe the lens, slide it into the case, not because I reject storytelling, because I'm done being filmed. From now on, I choose the frame. On the wall beside the shelf, there's a collage I made last week, newspaper clippings, letters from women, printed screenshots of kind comments, photos mailed to me by strangers, a grandmother in Michigan holding her granddaughter's hand, a woman in Texas smiling beside her estranged sister, a nurse in Ohio with a caption, "I found my voice too. I didn't ask for any of this, but I receive it now, not as validation, as evidence, that when you tell the truth, not loudly, not bitterly, but fully, it echoes." I hang one final item on the wall, a still frame. The exact second the wine hits my chest. My expression stunned, frozen, betrayed. I almost didn't keep it. But now I understand its purpose. This is not humiliation, it's origin. The precise frame where everything began to shift, where silence cracked, where legacy rerouted. Below the image I've printed one line, "They kept rolling." I chose when to stop. That's the story. Not the wine, not the video, not the viral wave or the backlash or even the apology. The story is a woman deciding, you don't get to narrate me anymore. Outside, the wind shifts again, and for the first time in years I feel unrecorded, but not unseen.